Okay. So Marco, thanks for having me. I was I was in the Curitiba concert and it was
Okay,
amazing.
thank you.
It was amazing. So
Oh,
in this new tour with Tarja, you are presenting a new set list, including more Nightwish songs and an acoustic segment. How did
mhm.
you go about choosing the songs and shaping the show in this format?
Um, well, of course, since me and Mr. Väinölä, we are doing the acoustic warm-up stuff, in that we chose now a little bit more of the new stuff because we did release that album in February, and it's pretty new, so it's nice to arrange a few of those into the acoustic set as well. And with the set together then with Tarja, I mean, I got all kinds of suggestions, and I what they had been thinking about and what I had been thinking about, well, matched in some places. The acoustic thing and the orchestra thing, those came from the side of Tarja and Marcelo, and I was like, Yeah, let's do it." And I got a bunch of songs to listen to and take a hold of some harmonies and unisons with Tarja. So we ended up with a pretty nicely different set from the last time we were here. And for me, it was no problem. Of course, I had to think about this one particular song that do I have the strength to pull it off still? Well, we tried it out in the sound check, and why not? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, one of the surprises, the inclusion of Feel For You from Century Child, a song that
Yeah.
wasn't even performed back then in Nightwish. What is like to sing that track now after all these years?
When I was listening to it, I was like, fuck, we're doing this well. And I sound really nice too. It's really weird when you start to listen to stuff you did for over 20 years ago and you hadn't really listened to it in a I don't know. Of course, I've gone back sometimes to listen to them, but I must say that I haven't heard that particular song before this year in 15 to 20 years. Just had to check it out. And, oh, fuck. Well, why not? And then it's in the acoustic set, so of course it's a bit softer. But well, my part can't be that much softer.
Yes. Well, Mark, since the beginning of your solo career, guitarist
Mhm,
Tuomas Wainola has become a
mhm,
key musical partner. Back in Nightwish era, the guitarist was Empu Woriman. How would you
mhm.
compare working with each one of them?
Well, I mean, both are great guitar players, but I mean, Tuomas as a like a heavily a writer and a studio engineer and a producer type of guy. He's he's of course been more involved. He's become kind of my partner in crime in this solo career thing. And with him, we sometimes checked out what Tuomas. Now we're talking about different Tuomas. Mr. Holopainen had written about his songs, and then we would sometimes go, "This place seems a little bit empty guitar bass wise. So if we do a little bit of riffing or unisono there and something." So in the end, yeah, I mean, like working with both guys. Empo is very like relaxed and easy guy to work with. Tuomas is sometimes Mr. Väinölä, maybe even Holopainen too, if we think about it. It's sometimes a little bit neurotic about how things should turn out and all that. But then again, talented guy. So why not? And, and like I said from Mr. Väinölä, that he's become like my right hand in this solo business because he's got the capabilities and understandings and he's a hell of a great like also studio engineer. And I recognize the trait because I'm a previous studio engineer also myself when I was trying out my things in music business, doing tarot albums and all that. But then the thing didn't pay enough, so I did quite a lot of studio engineering back in the day when I was over 20s and quite a lot of years after that. But these days I
Yes.
don't have to, which is nice because when you're working as a studio engineer for other people, you will always end up meeting about those band guys too, which are legendary assholes. It's not nice to be working for those guys and trying to make them sound the best that they can.
Okay. Marco, in your opening sets, you perform acoustic versions of Holy Diver and Children of the Graves. So both
Yeah.
iconic voices, Dio and Ozzy. How do you view their vocal styles? Do you have a favorite between them two?
Yeah, if we think about Black Sabbath, then I don't have no favorites because I just think that both Ozzy and Dio era did some legendary work. And I'm for vocalist wise, I'm pretty versatile. Of course, you can hear from my things that I've listened to quite a lot of, for instance, Dio. But I do have a great respect, and I love some albums from Kate Bush. And then we can go straight on to Sex Pistols and Nevermind the Bollocks, which is really a great album. But if you listen to the vocals, well, they're not that technical or well tuned or anything, but the attitude is fucking brilliant. And so there are a lot of ways of doing a convincing album and a song work.
Yes, Marco, recently, Annette also announced a tour in Brazil performing songs from Dark Passion Play and Imaginarium Records. If she invited you to make a guest appearance, would you consider it?
I didn't get any invitations. And well, at the moment it would be kind of, funny because I'm already doing things with Tarja. But of course, I would have to see emails and consider what kind of an offer there is. And I don't mind. And somehow those Imaginarium songs, they have a soft spot in my heart because I really like the
Mine
crazy.
too.
Yeah, I like the craziness, the prog symphonic rock vibe that goes through the whole album and its story and everything. So yeah, that's in its versatility. It's one of the albums that I really enjoyed doing.
uh, Talking about these two particular records, which duets do you like the most between you and Annette?
Which, sorry, the network cracked.
Wh- Which duets?
Hmm. Which duets?
I Want My Tears
It
Back,
would be
maybe?
really, it would be really nice to do Slow Love Slow. Hmm.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, would get to play that acoustic bass again.
And with the costumes.
Oh fuck, those were heavy and sweaty. Oh.
I think, well, now I am on again.
Okay, yeah, it
Marco,
cracked a bit. We got a little bit of
ca-
time still left, so do you have important questions?
yes, I have my final question for you is if you have unforgettable concerts that you've attended as a fan.
If I have memorable concerts I've attended to, yeah, I do. Seeing Dio do Holy Diver, and also let me see. Um, I also saw Black Sabbath with Ian Gillan. Uh, that was a funny thing to see, and but and didn't last that long, only for that one album. And hmm, but maybe one of the things where I've seen such great concerts. And like a few years back when Nightwish was playing in Rock in Rio and I was there, we managed to see Steve Vai play with the local orchestra, and it was brilliant. And they had a great vibe, and the orchestra people were totally blown away. Even the conductor was looking behind him with a huge grin on his face and all that. It was great. But then at that same summer, the other highlight of that summer was exploited in Czech Republic when we were playing in Masters of Rock. So hello? Okay.
Hello. It
Yeah.
came back.
So there hello again. So there is also the like the gap and the difference between things that you see some really sophisticated and great stuff, it works well, and then you see old punk rockers having a seriously good energy on stage and fuck this rocks. So yeah, from Steve Vai to Exploited, from Kate Bush to whatnot and all that, I got a lot of like influences and things that I like.
Thank you very much, Marco, for the interview. Have a nice day.
Mhm. You too, no problem at all. I'm gonna move on
Bye
to the
bye.
next one. Okay, bye
Okay.
bye.